Hello, my friends. This is very delayed, and I'm probably sounding somewhat echoier than normal, for which I apologise. But I'm back in the room I normally record in, which is my office where I work. But we've had some stuff done, so there's nothing on the wall, so it's very echoey, which isn't great. But it's the only place I've got. So I hope it's okay. This is my Clash of Kings 2022 tournament report. It was held at London GT in sunny Edmonton, which is like it's like the armpit of London, like an unwashed armpit. I used to live there, so I can say that it's not a great place. The tournament is extremely well. It's a 40k tournament. In fact, I've got a video to show you what it was like. Let's have a look at it. So this is the little Kings of War bit. I see that's Digimon down there, right? Right. This is Jeff's head. I'm only going to say the top of Jeff's head.
Get it off.
This is Kings of War. And this Warhammer 40k. Anyways. There we go. It's a little table. Some snookers. Little sneak preview of my game one there. So right, this was the list. I think that was the tournament. I'll talk more about it at the end. You don't want to hear me wanging on about that. You want to see how I crushed my opponents, am I right? Yeah. So I took my Riftforged Orcs, which I had finally fully manticized. Although Ronnie said he didn't like them because they were purple. Strange man. I have two hordes of unforged orcs, one of whom has the potion of the caterpillar. It is noted on the table because he has a tree on them, which is not part of the basing. I literally just stood a tree on them. I have two troops of Riftwalkers. These are the flying guys, speed 7. A horde of Thunderseers with Blessing of the Gods. The Shrine, which is indispensable. So if you don't know, the Stormforged Shrine. It has two special rules, one of which is for every Riftforged unit within 6 inches, it can add 1 dice to its spells, up to a maximum of 3. And if it casts a successful Bane Chant or Host Shadow Beast, it can then continue to cast Bane Chant and Host Shadow Beast with 1 less dice until it fails. And then we have Stormcaller, who I've got Lightning Bolt, Veil of Shadows, and Hex. This guy is literally man of the match every game. He's sucked at Adepticon, and he is the greatest thing ever, largely because of Hex. A Riftforger with Host Shadow Beast, who goes with Thonar the Beast, the newly nerfed Thonar in the new edition. So the Riftforger boosts Thonar with his Host Shadow Beast, they go together. 2 Stormbringers on Hellstrike Manticores, one of which spent every game wavered for the whole game. And then the Iron Boots formation, which is 2 regiments of Riftforged Legionnaires, but their nerve is boosted to 15-17, and a regiment of Reborn Legionnaires, who gain an Aura of Wild Charge for Orcs only, and an extra nerve also to 16-18, so that Wild Charge affects themselves and the Unforged Orcs only. So this is exactly the same list as I took to Rift Wars the other day, where I did pretty well. Did I do well? Yeah. I think I came second. I want to say second. Anyway, I can't remember. Seems like a long time ago. So, game 1 was against a lovely man called Jeff, whose head you've just seen. This, of course, is the winner of Clash of Kings United States from the Adepticon. And I challenged him because I thought it would be fun. Because we've been chatting and he said, challenge me, and I said, I will. Actually, I think I might have said, I'm challenging you, and he said, do it, or something. Anyway, whatever. Jeff has beaten Tom Robinson, who's the best player in the UK. So, I've got a great chance, right? Oh, God. And this is his list. So you've seen the army itself, the Snoogers, and this is what he's bought. This list no longer legal, which I'm very glad to see. So he has 6 regiments of warriors, 2 hordes of siege breakers, one with a staying stone, a troop of boomer chariots, that's for the stealthy aura, which is useless against me, 3 sergeants with heavy crossbows, a berserker bully, 3 warlocks, all with lightning bolt, and 1 has the banner of Abbottshire, and auto take Rock. So this army is, it's the Netless, isn't it? And it's disgusting. It's very hard to play against. It's just got so much unit strength, so many characters, and so much shooting. Whew! Quite the challenge for my little poor orcs. And that's his Nigel Codsworthy, which was a present from Eric Trowbridge. And he's travelled around the UK with him and his wife, which I thought was quite cute. And this is our battlefield. So I, of course, have not put up the pen. I think we're yellow we've gone for, haven't we? People, everyone can see yellow? Can we? Oh, wrong thing. Okay, so this is the battlefield. We'll talk about the terrain at the end of the thing, but these were the forests. Crater base with a single tree on. So, you know, apart from that, it was all good. So we have one forest over there. This tree is just one. Oh, that's the tree from here. There's another forest here. They're height 6, I think. I can't remember what height they actually were, and it didn't come up in this game. I could look it up. I'm just not going to. This one is a height 6 obstacle. This one is a height 6 obstacle, and this one is a height 6 obstacle. This is a height 3 hill. And these ones are height flat difficult terrain, and we have one single solitary very long wall right in the middle of the battlefield. So not a great deal of terrain. It's not very easy to hide, and you can see we have already set up. We are playing invade, so that's the center line. We need to get over the center line, and we have set up in the wheel formation deliberately. So I started out I think I put the horde down first, this horde of unforged orcs here, and then I faked him out by putting down one of the Stormbringers or Manticores and this Riftwalker troop. But he wasn't being faked at all. This was his strategy. He has 28 unit strength to my 20-something unit strength. So he is all here, and I am all here, and we are going to wheel pleasantly around each other, and he's going to shoot me off. Let's see how that goes. So we have regiment, 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 regiment. So that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, that's the regiments. Oh god, how am I supposed to do this? I've got some close-ups. Let's see. So that's a Berserker Bully. No, that is Nomagorok. That's a Berserker Bully. This is going to be tough, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. These guys are Warlocks. And I think this one is the Abbotshire because he's got the banner. Because that's the Jesse model. And this is Siege Breakers. These are Siege Breakers. I don't know which one has the Healing Brew, and I won't remember. It doesn't matter. Sergeant. Is that Nomagorok? Or is that Nomagorok? Bloody hell. Let's say that is. It doesn't matter. Sergeant for shooting. And that's his chariot troop. Alright. Well, you're going to have to be alright. And on my side, so there's my guys down there. Do I take any better pictures? No. So that's great, isn't it? Let's go back to the big picture. Normal high quality battle reporting here. I was very excited. Unforged Orcs. Other Unforged Orcs over there. These are the Reborn. There's the Riftforged, and there's Thonar with my lovely banner, which won a nice reward. We'll comment that later. There's the Stormcaller and the other Riftwalkers. This is the Shrine. These ones are Reborn Legionaries. There are some more Reborn Legionaries over there. These ones are Thunderseers in the woods. And here we have the other Stormbringer or Manticore, Hellforged Manticore. Okay, so my strategy, if you must know, if you're asking, why are you watching, if you're not, is to run away with these guys immediately, as fast as possible. And then I'm going to chaff him with this horde. I'm going to try and get him to attack this horde as much as possible. And this unit, so I'll push the horde forward, jump them in front so we can only attack with one, so they'll last as long as possible. And then all my killy stuff is going to come around the back of this rock and here. These guys are angled, so they can come up here and then turn and come this way. And so while he's engaged here, if I can survive long enough, I am going to crush him. Thonar's job is to get into a caster, and this Stormcaller's job is to hex a caster as quickly as possible. Okay. And so, of course, I lose turn 1, and Jeff pushes forward. So here we go. You can see he's being very careful. He's got a nice 20-inch ruler here and a 14-inch ruler here to make sure that he can't get towards me. He is angled nicely to shoot with. I think that is Nomagorok, I'm not going to lie. I wish I could remember things. That's a guy with a crossbow, crossbow, crossbow. So they're all going to shoot at these guys here. Right, try and take them off. Everything else is just a nice curve, awaiting my pleasure. And boy, did he have a good turn of shooting. There was a lot of 5s and 6s rolled, put it that way. We have 6 wounds on this bad boy and 3 wounds on these guys. He ends up wavered and the troop ends up alright. Kind of a recurring story that he ends up wavered, if I'm honest. He or she. And there's some more shooting left over here. So 2 wounds on the Horde and 3 wounds on the Reborn Legionary. So he rolled like a demon first turn, which is great for my confidence. He found it funny. He's got these lovely big casino dice. You see them here. Lovely there. So, in my turn, I back this guy away and say, go on then, you can spend another turn shooting him, he'll just be fine. And these guys run away here to hide behind a hill. See what happens there. And then I enact my plan. So the Berserker Bully particularly charges 15. So I jump these guys in front now, just in case, because why did I do that? That's a stupid idea looking at that now. I should have saved them for a turn. Oh, I know, it's because they're fast. It's because they're speed 7. So I put them in front to offer some threat so that he has to stay back, which will allow me enough time to come round. Now, I have committed the first error that I commit of 2 or 3 in this game, which are bad. So I've done everything right on the left here. So these guys are going really forward as fast as possible. These guys are here. We're angled nicely so I can come up and then turn next turn. The Reborn Legionaries are here, but you see this unit of Riftforged Legionaries here. I have done something very silly, and I'm not quite. I thought I'd done it properly, and when I went at the end of my turn and looked, they were angled poorly. Because what I really want to do is be able to move them at the double next turn, and I can't because if I follow this line here, you'll see it hits this piece of terrain quite unpleasantly. So they are not angled correctly. I'd measured, and they could fit through this gap, right? So a cock up really. So when it comes to next turn, I can't move them at the double. They have to move at the single. So that was annoying. So they are delayed, and they are one of my slightly killier units. The real killer units are here, I guess, and Thonar and this guy, right? So that was a mistake, but it's worth noting. First hex goes off on a Warlock. Sod you. And I've liked it so much, I've taken a second picture. And then it is his go again. So once again, he moves forward. Very threateningly, he doesn't care about this unit. Why would you? Because, oh my goodness me, there's a lot. You've got these cool little things that he uses to make sure he knows where they've come from. So in case he wants to redo the movement, which I think is very cool. All these guys are just coming forward, so he's now got all of this shooting to finish off and to finish these guys off, so he can come around for turn 3. He's got Siege Breakers in a nice threatening position, protected by these warriors. Very nice positioning all the way down. There's a single charge you can do without being hit by something else. And the Berserker Bully is here looking down the flank, ready for my Stormbringer to come up here. So very nice positioning. That's turn 2. And I remember thinking at the time, don't forget to put the turn dice at the beginning of the turn. Forgot. Anyway, only 1 more damage on this guy, and he wavers him again. Which is survivable to me, because that means he has to spend another turn shooting him, which is great. Very happy about that. Unfortunately, the rest of his shooting goes as well as last turn, and he utterly obliterates these Riftwalkers. Defense 5, so they normally last better than that. Even, if he really had a demon couple... I'm not complaining about dice, and we play a dice game for a reason. I'm definitely not complaining about dice. He just had a good turn of shooting. It happens. So he whacked an enormous amount of damage out this turn, and he wavered my Reborn Legionaries. Now that would normally be okay, but I've made this mistake. Behind you, I told you about, you can see the line here, right? So I can't hop these guys over. In fact, they're completely stuck, which is very, very bad. So it really has delayed my advance on this side. Bad time. So we come back even further with this guy from my turn 2. And we bring it round. You can see here, this is my log jam. Very, very distressing. I decide that... So let's go back. I don't know why the camera's gone so yellow. Sorry about that. You can see here. Can you see here? No, you can't. Yes, you can. This is before his move. So this is after his move. He's moved simply forwards, and he's given me charges. He's given me as many charges as I want. So actually, what we've got here is a couple of warrior regiments. The other warrior regiment is up there, along with the bully. I can take these guys in here and the Stormbringer in here to block things up, because actually it'll block some line of sight for these magic users, which is good because they are bloody annoying. Okay, so here we go. We've got atmospheric lighting now for some reason. So we decide to just kind of take the bait. So what I do is I bring these guys forward, and these guys are chaff. Oh no, that's right. Yes, I'm so sorry. We come into the magic user instead. I think it's Nomagorok, I want to say, who's come back over here. A, it stops him shooting. B, it stops these guys shooting without cover. He's blocking up. He should last a turn, and that means I can bring Thonar uncontested within charge range of stuff. He's an individual, and he's very powerful, and here's his friend to Bane Charm him. So around here, I've got the second wave. So this was supposed to be first wave. This is supposed to be second wave, but first wave is now delayed. So I'm going to have to do something. So I'm sending in Thonar on his own. Good luck. And I'm leaving this horde to deal with double siege breakers because, go on. Who cares? So there we go. 4 wounds onto Nom Nom, who I think the hex comes onto this guy. And there are some wounds here as well, but not worrying about 2. There you go. Turn 3 then. So how does he respond to that? Well, the first thing he does is absolutely obliterate my very wavered poor little Stormbringer, bless him. He does more shooting onto these guys, just 1 point of damage onto the Reborn Legionaries, and they're okay this turn, which is great news. The regiment gets Berserker bullied, so Nomagorok legs it like a coward, and the Berserker bully and the regiment countercharges and obliterates him. But only 2 wounds from this regiment onto the Stormbringer on Hellstrike Manticore, which is great because he's now in a superb position to do nasty things to people. This is the bully. That's... it doesn't matter, does it? It's a warlock. It's a shooty guy. Doesn't matter. So, in response to that, on the other side, everything else just kind of turned around. You can see he's got all this shooty stuff on the hill where he wants it. He can pew me all the rest of the game. Everything else is just moving up. So, what I do is... the Stormbringer who was here withdraws and does a normal charge. He's not nimble anymore because he's not flying, because he got hit, but he could do a normal charge into the Berserker Bully. That's great, which allows Thonar to come in with some Host Shadow Beast aid into this regiment, which is already wounded, and hopefully finish it off. The Horde then takes a hindered charge onto this regiment. Now, they're not going to do anything. They're useless. They were hitting on 5s, and against Defense 5. Or, sorry, Defense 5, Crush 1, aren't they? Yeah, and that's my second mistake. Oh, great. I'll tell you about it in a second. So they come into these guys, and they are really just providing a block to allow me, because now I've managed to turn and come in here. These guys are all out. So it's a block that allows me to bring my killy stuff in, because as you can see, my troops are starting to come round, so this is great. I'm happy with this. My shrine has gone away, so the shrine has literally turned and gone this way. And the reason he's done that is because he wants to be out of charge. So it doesn't matter. These guys are out of 12, definitely. If these guys turn, they have to go this way, and if these guys turn, they have to go this way. So basically, he can't be charged, and that's why he's like that. And he is here to hex. He's going to hex something. He loves hexing stuff. Hexing is his favourite thing to do. But the shrine does something silly. What do I do? It's silly. I can't remember. So he gets 3 extra attacks on the Host Shadow Beast. And we get a Bane Chant off. Oh, it wasn't my mistake. I made that mistake later. Oh, I previewed another mistake. We get a Bane Chant off, so at least they are crushed 2 now. So Thonar absolutely leathers through that regiment because he's a legend. And he overruns, so now nobody can see him, so he is in a great position. However, my Stormbringer only does 3 wounds to the Berserker Bully, so that's going to be painful. However, unbelievably, my useless Horde kills the regiment and then backs up, which is fantastic, isn't it? So now I've got a lovely unit of chaff. I've taken out one of his regiments, so that was a great turn for me. Good job. Turn 4. So we're kicking to turn 4 now. So while I'm doing well, I think I'm doing well, I have an issue, which is so much unit strength. So he sent one of his warrior regiments down this way. The other warrior regiment's coming around here. He's got his chariot. He's got all his lovely shooty men and ladies. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unit strength there alone. That I cannot touch. There is no way I can get to any of that stuff unless I shoot it off. That's a problem. I also, that is the mistake I made last turn. Yes, I did make a mistake. I used this guy to try and lightning bolt this regiment. You can see he's got 2 wounds on it, and I lightning bolted them. His whole bloody job is to hex things. That's all he's here for. Look, here's a lovely caster on a hill he could have hexed. Did I? Did I bloody hell? So he's got a free turn of shooting off one of his castles he should not have had. Anyway, turn 4. So, double siege breakers into the horde, because why not? These regiments come round, everyone's on the hill ready to shoot, everyone here is ready to shoot, counter charge here, and this regiment comes round. Alright, so he's basically made Thonar's life, so he's going to have to take out a caster probably. Oh, has that happened? I think that was, do you know what? I'm having really difficulty remembering what's what. I thought he went into the bully last time, but clearly that is not a bully. Maybe that is Nomagorok. That's the banner of Abishai Warlock. We're on it now. I'm on it now. I'm on it now. Are you with me? This is not very professional, is it? I'm sorry. Warlock with banner of Abishai. Nomagorok, bully. We're there now. So I attacked Nomagorok, which is the correct person to attack, and the bully has come back in. Hindered, but still. Alright, everyone happy now? Everyone happy? Yeah, good. So the utterly undefeatable Reborn Legionaries take a bunch more shooting win out to 11 wounds. And the Shrine takes some shooting too. There's nothing else to shoot. If you look at the overview from here, these guys haven't really got great targets. It was the lightning bolts that went here anyway. Whatever. So, they survive, isn't it great? 2 wounds on the Shrine. And then 1 wound from some shooting onto Thonar, I think. The Horde, of course, explodes into tiny orc-shaped pieces. But this guy is definitely cooler than his other friend who went off immediately. Or was just wavered for the entire game. 4 wounds from Berserker Bully, and he's still okay, which is superb. So, in response to that, a rather complicated set of moves. Thonar, unfortunately, because this regiment is just too threatening, I have to take it out. So Thonar goes in there, which is a bit of a waste of Thonar, but I thought it was best considering the other moves I did. Because finally, I get my Thunder Seers in, and we send Thunder Seers into the Berserker Bully. So this guy simply backs up and goes into Nomagorok again, because he can see him. You see here, by simply backing up an inch, you can see him and try and finish the job he started, which allows the Thunder Seers to come into the Bully. The Reborn Legionaries, who are going to die anyway, they're on 11 wounds, those absolute legends, come into the Siege Breakers, because what that does, if you look at the positioning here, it blocks very, very nicely the line of charge. Because if these Legionaries here are to, Siege Breakers are to turn, their charge comes all the way down here. Right, so by coming in with these guys, I'm actually blocking the charges quite nicely. And I finally got my 2 legionary units where I need them to be. Alright. So got some Host Shadow Beast action here. We've got a mage ready to hex because he's going to remember this turn. And off we go. What's that showing you? That's just showing you the battlefield and how much unit strength he's got. And look how much unit strength I've got. You see, it's not as desperate as you think. 4, that's the Pathfinder unit. 3, 3, 1, 3. Right, so that's a lot of unit strength. So at turn 4, it is not desperate. It feels very, very tight and very tense. I think that's showing you the lines of sight that I'm out of. 2 extra attacks for Thonar, and a hex onto the Abishai guy. I don't think we remembered that he had Abishai when I rolled that hex. I'm thinking maybe I did. And then the Shrine really did one of its, you know when you pull a one-armed bandit and you get like 3 8s where ding 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 it goes off. So Bane Chant, Bane Chant, Bane Chant, triple Bane Chant. Absolutely lovely. Lovely when it happens. So we kill the bully. We do 5 wounds onto the Siege Breakers, which is not a lot, but they are only 12 attacks on 4s. 4s and 2s, mind you. So that's, 1 under average maybe? No, it's not. It's about average, isn't it? Perfect. We still don't kill Nomagorok, which is very irritating. I think he healed a bit, or somebody healed him maybe, I don't know. Whatever, he's on 2 wounds now. I think, well, they're Life Legion. There's no Life Legion in this list. I don't know what happened to this regiment. Let's see if we can see on any of the bigger shots later. Because we're into turn 5 now. So in turn 5, Jeff shoots at this unit from the guys on the hill for 2 wounds. Those guys on the hill really are concerning me. The Reborn Legionaries cark it. And then the... What's going on there? Is that shooting? No, that must be Nomogrok countercharging. Wavered this previously excellent Stormbringer, which is not great, is it? I guess I didn't kill them. Did he do no wounds? Wow, Sonar sucks. I think Sonar did suck that year. Clearly he did, because he did 0 wounds. So he takes 3 wounds on the countercharge, which is not great. And so on. My turn 5. We are now coming in for... It's crunchy time. So he's positioned his units very, very carefully and very kind. I've taken a picture here. So this is really cool positioning here. So these are the wounded ones. Nothing can get in because he's turned everything very nicely and presented his unwounded siege breakers over a wall. So I have to charge hindered. I have an Aura of Fury, so this is fine. So my Stormbringer can come back in here to Nomogrok. Plus I can come in with the Thunder Seers as well. But unfortunately that does mean siege breakers are able to be to charge into things next turn, which is not great because we look at the unit strength again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's just the units not in combat, right? I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, but these guys will die because they're going to get siege breakered, right? So realistically, things that will survive, maybe these guys are 3, 3 and 4, 7, 10. So I need all of these to survive to come within a chance of winning. And I need some of this stuff to die. So Thonar withdraws from these guys. Wouldn't happen anymore, would it? Oh, it doesn't need to actually, because he's an individual. He could just turn his chariot back. I mean, he's a cavalry base. He comes across here and into the flank of the siege breakers. Because there are 5 wounds, I figure I might get lucky. You never know. We take the Caterpillar Horde into this regiment, which should hopefully do for them. 25 on 4s and 4s, we shall see. This unit is not yet in combat. And this unit is taking on these siege breakers, which is going to end in their death. So, yes, they do... no, that's just showing you what's happening. There's 2 Host Shadow Beasts onto Thonar. Where is the Riftforger? Here he is. He's hiding still. So he's Host Shadow Beasting here. Hex, which I'm still remembering to do, so that's good. You know, when people hex my casters, I just cast anyway. Maybe I'm weird. What's going on there? And that's showing you a double bane chant. So we got a double bane chant off onto these guys and onto these guys. And I failed. And what is that showing? That's showing that Nomogrok is dead. Hooray! He's run forward, which means that my horde might be safe from countercharge here, which I like. Whoa! Oh yeah! Isn't that cool? And then Thonar killed the siege breakers. What a legend! And backed up into the woods. Now he's not backed up out of charge range of stuff, but that means he's 3 unit strength down. Brilliant. The plan is coming together, guys. It's so cool. Plus I kill those guys at the top. We're into turn 6 now. Let's have a look at the battlefield. So, unit strength wise, the middle is about here. Right, so go to the other side of the hill. Alright, let's say like that. So here's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12. So a total of 12 unit strength on his side. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm up by 3 at the beginning of turn 3. Realistically, things are going to die this turn. But it's so achingly, painfully close. Let's see how it goes. What's that? That is the Stormbringer who has been shot the hell off. Pew, pew, and indeed, pew. He's gone. And both charge in. So we have a double charge from Siege Breakers and Warriors into this regiment, which takes out 3 unit strength, which is a great choice. And then this Warlock just stands in front of the Thunderseers saying, go on, charge my Siege Breakers if you want. You can't, can you? Ha ha. So that leaves me 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 unit strength to his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. Right? So, if I don't kill anything in return, I can't win. Oh no. So he also kills those guys. So, and then he backs up. So now we're in a bad place because I can't charge with these guys, they're too far away. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to double one then. So I shoot the hell. So that's my... I'm going to just... Sorry, I keep counting. Obviously, I keep forgetting. I'm not good with numbers, as you will know. 2, 4, 6, 8. So there's 8 in characters, plus 2 there, plus 3 there. Yeah? So 13 altogether. So what I work out is that if I kill these guys, with what these guys are dead, I've got 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? So if these guys have got 1 wound, these guys have got 2 wounds. If I kill these guys, then it's a draw. 11 all. Right? With no turn 7. So, we give it a go. You can see Thonar and the Riftforger have come into the Siege Breakers to give it a go. I double one this unit with shooting, double lightning bolts, which is fun. I mean, they're only 3 wounds, so it's probably not going to die anyway, but you know, it's always fun to get a double one in the last turn of the game. And then I take the Siege Breakers, as you can see, up to 11 wounds, which is a lot of wounds. So do I kill them to win the game? Do I? No, I do not. Of course I do not. Well, that would be delicious, wouldn't it? I had a great chance though, if you think about it. Look, 11 wounds, what are they, a 15, 17? That's not undoable. A 6 twice? I do not roll a 6 twice. That is the end, and Jeff wins. But wow, what a close game, huh? Really thrilling, such a lovely man. Such a just delight. He was like a Duracell bunny bouncing around the place. He was having the time of his life. And he finished exceptionally high up the table. So, well done to him. Boo for me. But I got 11 out of it. 11 was my score against his 21 or whatever it was. It's a pretty good loss in this system. So I go on to game 2. Oh, haha, I've just realised my shrine wasn't in his half. So it wasn't half as close as I was just making out. I was making out like it was right at the skin of my teeth. It wasn't. His stuff was in my half. I was not in his. Anyway, let's move on. So, I think, no, recalling it now, I think I needed both of those units to die to win. That's definitely true. I needed both those units to die. And I doubled one once, and I didn't kill the other one. So, yeah, great. Right then, game 2. Game 2 was against a lovely French chap called Nicolas, who bought his Ratkin. And he called his army "My Little French Rats," which I thought was adorable. If you imagine a French person, he is the most French-looking French person I can imagine. He's very cool. He's dressed in very louche, man. He's got kind of floppy hair. He's very handsome. Very cool guy. And his rat, you'll see his rats, they are brilliant. They're modeled so well. I love them. So he has 2 hordes of warriors. Everything's got plague pots. There's plague pots everywhere. Plague pots on them. He's got the fully tooled up horde of shock troops. So plague pots, heavy halberds, caterpillar potion, now illegal. That's his killer unit there. He's got 2 regiments of scurriers with plague pots. Ooh! So that's an unusual choice. Never seen them on the table before. Very excited to play against them. He's got a regiment of hack paws with plague pots and the helm of the drunken ram, which is a nice item for them. A little regiment of vermintide. Ton of runners with sharpness, the only way to take them. The old tangle there, which is we had a tangle versus shrine off. Double fury auras, which is nice, isn't it? 3 brute enforcers, one of which is inspiring, which I think is nice. Brood mother with nothing. And Skudkuzluk, my favourite guy. The big dragon dude, best dragon. He's awesome. So, let's see how we were playing. So we were playing, I believe, Control. So Control is the worst scenario, apart from Kill, because it's so gamey and annoying. So I do not like it. The table is divided into 6 segments, like yay-ish. Each segment is worth 1 point. Your opponent's central section is worth 2. So for me, it was worth this, and Voltfass for my new friend, Nicola. So on our table, we have a height 3 hill. You will see the scenario. The terrain is very similar. This is a forest, believe it or not, just imagine a tree. God help us. Another forest here. Then we have 2 difficult terrains here. We have height 6, and height 6. And we have 2 walls this time. How exciting. 2 walls. So a little bit more terrain on this one. A lot less shooting on my opponent's army. So entirely pointless. Off we go into turn. Why have I taken a photograph of the turn 1 dice? Who knows? Oh, it's because... Oh no, he's scouted, right? This is the pre-scout. So this is how Nicola deploys. He's got his scurriers over here, which he has scouted forwards. This is Scud Kuzula. Awesome model. Love that model. This is one of the Horde of Warriors, and this is one of the Horde of Warriors. And this one is the tooled up shock troops. Here's the Vermintide. This is the Brood Mummy. That's a Brute. That's a Brute. And that's a Brute. I can't remember which one's inspiring, don't ask me. That's the Tangle. That's the Tunnel Runners, obviously, with sharpness. And then, oh no, sorry, I'm so sorry. This is the Hack Paw. Right, this was a confusing thing. So the Tunnel Runners without spikes were Hack Paws. Of course they were. And the Tunnel Runners with spikes, he's got these brilliant spikes hanging between them on chains. These are the Tunnel Runners with sharpness. Okay, so he's spread very thinly, which I liked. Obviously, he's trying to capture as many segments as possible, but against his army, because it's so durable and healable, I need to punch through. So I was quite pleased he spread so thinly, because I, as you can see, have not. I have deployed fully in formation, so 2 Unforged outside of the Reborn to give them wild charge. So I've got a little bit of a charge edge on everything but the Hack Paws. I've got my Stormbringer and Manticore here to hold off against the Hack Paws, because I am 2 faster than them on the charge. Here's the 2 Legionnaires. Angled carefully this time, right? Angled carefully to avoid things. Here's a Riftforger. Is there another Rift? Oh, here's the other Riftwalker, I mean. With my other Stormbringer, and here are... So I actually put all my hitty stuff here. All my hitty stuff here, and I'll tell you why. Here's my caster, here's my shrine. 2 regiments of Scurries and Scud. That's it on this side. Against which you've got Thonar with Host Shadow Beast support, Riftwalkers for Chaff, Thunderseers, and a Stormbringer on Hellstrike Manticore. So much hitty stuff. I plan to utterly crush while we anvil here, and then hammer around. Yeah, and then just kind of I'll forget about this side, because my plan is to get like 2 and an extra 1 here, something like that. Here's his lovely army, a little bit close up. There we are. Those tokens are to denote plague pots, in case you're wondering. There we go. And there's my also quite lovely army, I think is nice. So first turn, Nicola gets it. And he goes bananas with his shooting. Once again, on a poor little Stormbringer. 7 wounds, wow. And he's alright. So he's not wavered this turn, which is nice. So I say, right, sod it, off you go. Off you go. You can just get stuffed. I sent him all the way up. Is that it? Did I not take a photo of his actual movement? Well, I am selfish. Let's see what he did. You see there? There. So what he did was come very fast, very far forwards. So ignoring my movement for the time being, he's pushed all of this stuff as forward as possible. He didn't even use his plague pots first turn. He's still out of my charge generally, so I think he's out of the 13 charge. But he's been quite aggressive because he can, because he's got these guys who are super fast. All right. Anyway, so in response to that very hard push forward, I send the very wounded Stormbringer right in front of these guys. Say, go on then, and I measure quite carefully. So Scud has got a 20-inch fly, right? It places him to about, if he goes straight forward, about there. He can't come anywhere here. So I've put the Thundersea is here to be an anti-scud barrier. I've then gone really far forward with him, so they have to engage here. And then I have got my Riftwalkers with these two hitty boys right behind them, ready to go. And you see the line of sight here for the warriors is okay. So I have then met his very hard push forward with my own. I've got a very nice long line here. I have said to these warriors, you want to charge me? You crack on, buddy. You'll be hindered. You won't be off a hill, which is good. So you'll be wounding me on some things, twos. You could double charge me. He could shock troop with Caterpillar and warriors at the same time. If he does that, he's going to find himself in a world of pain. But we will see. I kind of tempted him to do it, really. Actually, I'm offering the opportunity here to triple charge. One, and that's probably what I would have done. 1, 2, 3. Absolutely obliterate these guys. And then I've not got enough push back. But let's see what he does. Over here, I've been a little bit more cautious. I put these guys forward, so there's only one charge. So it'll be a hindered charge here, and the reborn are unchargeable currently. We could send these guys in, I suppose, if you really wanted to. That would be a terrible waste of them. And over there, so the tunnel runners are pretty wasted over there as a really hitty unit. So they're coming around, and I've got my Stormbringer here to head them off. So that's how we're looking. There's a Hex onto Scud, just to let him know he can't do anything this turn. And that's probably a lightning bolt from somebody. 1 point of damage onto them. So turn 2. This will be turn 2. Did I take a photo of the dice? No, I didn't. So it's turn 2, everyone. He's brought these guys round. He's decided to just ignore my Stormbringer, which is, a thing. So he's got his brutes here to try and, cover off lines of sight. But he's not quite done a good enough job because I can just go here in turn, I think. So it's a good attempt, I would say. Not the best attempt, but he's got these guys as well. So, he's then triple charged my Stormbringer, which is pretty ballsy, not going to lie. What would I have done? So he's out 20 here. I would probably have sent Scud here and let these guys come here, because then you're using Scud as chapel. I always throw him away. So, and then he's very cautious. So this really surprised me. I was like, okay, I've given you a triple charge. You always take a triple charge. It's so much fun. But instead of which, he invites me to take the first charge. So he covers his angles for the Stormbringer around the back, and then he protects his shock troops by putting the Vermintide right in front of them, very close in front of them. Everything's stacked up here, which I like because it means I can now start to delay things. So rather than taking all the charges I offered, he's been more cautious. He's tried to take out here and wait another turn. So that allows me to control the charges very nicely. Scurriers then sidestep here and do some shooting. 6 points damage, but we're okay. What's that showing? A tree inelegantly placed on top of a unit. Who knows? Oh, is that a thing? Did he weakness them? I think he weaknessed them from the whatever it's called, Tangle. And of course, they utterly explode my poor little Stormbringer. There you go, he's alright. So, since he's allowed me to control charges, I just go for it. I'm like, yeah, take it. And I go all in. So, I send the wounded Riftwalkers into Scud, because if these guys pull off this kill here, I think I should be able to overrun or withdraw so that Scud can't charge me, and then I've got control on this side, which I like a lot. I bring forward these guys. I charge in hindered and weakened into these warriors, not expecting to kill them, but just expecting to hold them off for a bit, because I've now moved these guys forward. Annoyingly, can you see that corner? Annoyingly on the terrain. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? We're going to do probably some Hex over here, I should imagine. Can you hear my dog snoring in the background, by the way? If you can, I do apologise. He's snoring a lot. Nero! Hey! You're snoring. Did you know that? Yeah, you. I've got these guys, and then so my favourite move, I sent in the Riftwalkers into the Vermintide. And I hope I don't kill them because I'm hindered. I'm not hindered because I've got, what's it called? Strider. I hope I don't kill them. And even if I do kill them, I'm going to overrun and his shock troops have to take on these guys. Which would be hilarious for me because then I can get things in place to try and kill them. And then over here, so I send them onto the warriors on the hill because I've got some backup here. And I've got my Stormbringer, as I said, so I just fly him over and face him this way, so he's very nastily in the back. So I'm quite pleased with how the battlefield is looking. Yeah, well, that's just showing you the same thing. That's just showing you this annoying corner, I think. So we get 4 extra attacks for Thonar, which is absolutely devastating. We completely destroy the Scurry unit. And then I pull back, and we get the bases out in the end to determine, because what happens is, even if Scud withdraws an inch and turns, he is not able to get my guys here. So very happy with that. Basically, he comes off this way. Trust me, we did it with bases. So we were safe, hurrah, from Scud. So that means bad news for Scud next turn, because you're going to get these guys coming in on you. Over here, we managed 4 massive wounds. We did get a Bane Chant off from the shrine, which is nice, to counter the weakness, but only 4 wounds. And 4 wounds on the Vermintide, and they're not killed. Best news ever. 7 wounds here from these. Yeah, we felt like it on this side. Well, we have Caterpillar, I guess that helps. But 7 wounds, that's good, but it's got some bad news coming in here with his Drunken Helm. On to turn 3. So turn 3 counter. So all Scud can do is counter here. He sends these Scurries into the flank of the warriors, hindered, to see what they can do, along with this front charge. These guys are stuck. And I think he makes a mistake here because he doesn't back them up. He just leaves them there. I think he maybe thought, oh, that's a chaff unit. I'm going to send a brute in the flank and Vermintide in the front and get rid of them. Nuh-uh, they're tougher than you think. I'd have moved these guys back to give them some maneuvering room. Broodmother's doing some drain life here. And he takes a lovely triple charge. I mean, I've offered him 2. He might as well take the second one. So that's not good, is it? You've got Hack Paws, Warriors, and Tunnel Runners on 1 horde. Yeah. Now, I have got this guy in the back to come in and these guys to come in, but this flank is looking rather weakened, I will admit, since my plan to smash through on that side is happening. It's slower than I'd like. So there's a bit of drain lifing going on. I think... Oh yeah, I did hex this guy. You can see the hex token behind the tangle. So he actually sends a tangle in to attack. So he went, is it alright if I go back and do this? So yeah, absolutely. So he went back in and he did the multiple charge there instead. There we go. There's drain life, 1 wound. Yeah, big pieces of ore went everywhere there. Not very nice. But as I predicted... Oh, well, I did predict at the time, actually, as well. I was giving you a real-time prediction. 2 wounds, they're fine. Brilliant. Even better. How about that? We don't die. We take 14 wounds. We are wavered. There's a shrine around. So, we've got some good news there, so that's good. And those guys die, and Scud Kuzaluk is free to be murdered. We hope. So, in we go. We now have Thunderseers in the action as well. So Thonar and the Riftforged come into Scud Kuzaluk. We take a flank on these Scurriers with the Thunderseers, and yes, I rolled all 60 dice. And we bring the shrine in here, so the Aura of Fury takes these guys, and we go back on the Warriors, because I think I'm going to hex the shrine again. Probably. Tangle, I mean. We stay here, having fun, just enjoying ourselves. We send the Reborn Legionaries into the Hack Paws, and really... rock or a hard place here, we don't really know what to do. The much scarier unit is obviously the Tunnel Runners. So he's offered me double flank here, rather than a rear flank, which is really sensible. But I fancy my chances of a front and a flank on these Tunnel Runners, despite being double rallied. So we'll see how we do. There's Bane Chant. There's 4 extra attacks on Thonar. You can see my banner I did here. Nice, isn't it? And we 11 wounds on him. 11 wounds, and I think I waver him. 11 wounds and wavered, which is brilliant. Not the kill I'd hoped for, but he's still not in a great place. Unfortunately, my Bane Chanted Warriors over here. Obviously, the Scurriers explode, but we get them up to 15, and I do not roll. I think I had 19, 21, are they? So I only need a 4 to waver them. Maybe I do waver them, but there's an Aura of Fury from the Tango. I think I waver them. Yeah. Vermintide up to 6 wounds, still not dead. So frustrating. I would have been mad. Mad as a dog. 7 wounds here, which is a great amount. Plus he's got no Thunderous now. He's going to struggle to kill me. But this was bad. This was bad times, really. I didn't have any Bane chance, I suppose. So I had 12 attacks on 3s and 4s. Maybe so 6. Maybe only 3 wounds really off them, isn't it? No, maybe more than that. Maybe 5 wounds. Yeah, which is about right. So it's the right number of wounds, really. Think about it. And he's got, what, 10 in the flank? 3s and 3s. So, yeah. Good number of wounds. But I didn't roll the correct amount of nerves, so... Bad times. Bad nerve rolling this game, this turn. On to turn 4. So, Brute Enforcer goes into the Stormbringer. This guy was facing the wrong way, so he couldn't do anything. And then he takes the rear and the front onto this regiment. Ouch. It's not great. And yes, he did roll 75, or how many dice it is. 75 dice. This is what else happened. So we had a counter charge here. We had a continued charge here. He still hasn't moved this unit back. And I'm looking at it going, you really should move that unit back, buddy. He's still got a flank going on. Nice Fury counter charge here. Another charge here because he's still hexed. Scud is wavered. Yeah. What's that showing? Oh, that's the Broodmother coming around for Radiance and Drain Life. And who does she drain life? I don't know. Doesn't matter. And so the Brute into this Stormbringer wavers him on only 4 wounds, which is really annoying. Really annoying because I need him to be in the game. I need him to be in the game. Even better, though, than that. Well, that doesn't make any sense, does it? It would be even worse than that. But contrary to that bad luck, I don't die here, which I was really expecting to. 10 wounds on these guys. They are 15-17. They are inspired. He wavers them. So I think he did no wounds or 1 wound from these massive amount of attacks in the back on 5s and 5s. Very small amount anyway. Ton of runners, of course, kicked ass, as they do. Especially with sharpness. At this point, this is hilarious. So he drains life, that's what he does. The Broodmother drains life, the Vermintide, puts them up to 11 wounds. Like, please bloody kill them. And they only do 1 wound. All of them only 1 wound. But these guys, of course, die. So there's some death happening finally. So that's how we look. So imagine the table corners are like this. Right. I think it's alright. I think I'm doing okay. I am murdering slowly here. Unfortunately, the shock troops are going to come into play soon, and that is worrying. I am hoping by that point these guys will be over here and ready to kill them. So we'll see. This side is going horrifically. Here's what it is. So we go into Skudakuzaluk. We do a double charge into the warriors to get rid of them. We went to check with the judge. I said, do I have to attack? I'm pinned. Something in combat, but do I have to attack or do I just not attack? And I said, no, you can not attack. So we chose to not attack, which I'm not sure is correct. I think you might have to, but I don't know. We didn't anyway. We said, okay, so I'm not. So I just stayed there. So annoying. We went back in here. We couldn't do anything here, and I backed up here out of lines of sight, so I get another turn. What's that showing you? That's just showing you that he reversed. We kill Scud. Yay! Took a few turns, but I got him, and now we're ready to go. And we kill the horde here, so now I'm ready to go. And we kill the Hackpaw, so things really come together this turn across the board. Apart from over here, where it's all going terribly. Turn 5. Look how much time is left, man. It's really tight. It's really tight. So they both carry on going in here. Both the brutes come over to face off against this chap here. I think in the end, I said to him, I did say to him, I don't know why he didn't back those off. And he went, oh yeah, backed them up. Oh well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. He brings the Broodmother. He doesn't charge with her. He just brings her forward to drain life, and he sends the Tangle into the Thunderseers. because it's just perma-hexed by this point. So yeah, that's drain life, I believe, for 1 wound. Yep. Ah, they finally died. I feel sad about it, but he did kill them. So there you go. My Riftwalkers are dead, having done their job admirably. And this regiment, of course, dies. And he turns like yay. So he's got a lovely front for this very damaged horde. And he's got a ton of runners whose flank is protected from this guy, which is really a nice, cool move. However, on my turn, I lightning bolt him off. Because why would you not? He's got 11 wounds already. It goes up to... what's that? 6, 12, 13 wounds. So 2 lightning bolt damages from my hero, the Stormbringer. Takes off the Tunnel Runners. I take the Stormbringer into one of the Brutes, and I take the Reborn Legionaries into this Horde. And this is when it starts to get really spicy. So I take Thonar. He's across the wall into the shock troops. Now, Steve, why would you do that? Why would you go across the wall into shock troops? Because Thonar has Thunderstruck. So basically, as long as I hit them, you see I've Host Shadow Beasted him. He's still hitting on 4s, but he's now 8 attacks on 4s and 2s. So he was, very lucky, and he explodes. He will do some wounds, quite a lot of wounds hopefully, but they'll be Thunderstruck, which means they'll be hitting on 5s. In which case, this, Death Star unit is somehow less scary. So I've got these attacks here. I'm hoping that I'll take off this horde rather. This combat doesn't matter, but it will leave me in a really nice position because he's got this one horde that will be hitting on 5s. We obviously go back into the Broodmother and we take a flank on the Tangle. So the likelihood is that's gone. They're on 9 wounds, so a little bit of magic should get them off. Okay, he's got a Brute Enforcer here that can come in. But really the Horde is the only scary thing left on the board. So I'm hopeful this turn things go my way. But of course they don't. So so I don't kill the Broodmother. I think there's 4 or so, that's like 6 wounds to me, which is a good number of wounds, but I don't kill her. We do kill the Tangle, which is great because that is now gone and out of my concern. But I am worried now because he can actually block up both these units with Brute and a Broodmother, so we'll see how that goes. I can't remember how many wounds I do it's quite a lot on the shock troops, and my clock is running so low that the number of photographs really reduces here, but I should paint you a picture with words. I waver one of the Brute Enforcers with this hero, which is amazing. Although obviously he's going to come into me in the flank, which is nasty. But critically, I don't kill... there you go, 3 wins. I don't kill the Horde. This is his next turn. This is actually turn 6, so apologies. I don't kill the Horde, which is absolutely appalling for me. I do a lot of wounds. I might even waver them. I can't remember. We'll have a look in a second. But the shock troops then ignore Thonar and come here. So if they weren't Thunderstruck, that would be really, really bad. As it is, it's just bad. It's a flank, 50 attacks. So it's 50 attacks on 5s and 4s. All right, as opposed to 4s and 4s, which would be a lot worse. So there is a dice in a moment that shows you this is turn 6, but it is turn 6, trust me. So the Broodmother and the Brute Enforcer, I think he misses a trick here, because he could have withdrawn her, unless she was wavered. Maybe she was wavered. Maybe that's why. Can't remember. He didn't use wavered tokens, which makes it hard to recount. I would have sent her into here if she wasn't wavered. And then maybe it was flank, which is why he couldn't. So he needs to stop these guys because they're in front. Okay. Yep, so they both go into this regiment. And the Vermintide leg it this way. We're on 9 wounds. Yeah, what they're mainly interested in is getting into my half, because then they get 2 points if they get that. So you can see how many wounds here, right? 14 wounds on this horde. Not enough to kill them, which is really annoying, which allows him to do that double charge. But what's really amazing, that's just showing the same thing again. Oh, that's the 1 wound there. 1 wound from all that. Useless. But, they are pinned. Oh yeah, 1 wound, and he rolls them off. I think they had 1. I don't know. Anyway, He rolled an extent. He can't roll them off on 1 wound. He did more than 1 wound. Clearly. But these two got rid of my regiment, which is, I think he rolled a 10 twice, or a 10 and an 11. Absolutely devastating. However, less devastating over here is that they don't take off the Reborn Legionaries, which is brilliant. That unit is so durable. There you go. Turn 6, everyone. 7 wounds. So that's 50 attacks in the flank on 5s and 4s, and then 25 in the front on 5s and 5s. 7 wounds from that lot. And they're all right, which gives me a chance for this game. I managed to take an overhead shot for you on my turn 6, because this is what I do. I come around, I ignore the Brute Enforcer, because sod him. Also, I don't think, could these guys see him? Let's have a look. No, so I couldn't see him. That's why. He's out of my line of sight. So I just say, alright, you can just be ignored. I bring these guys up to jump into this half. I think I placed them. It's hard to see from this shot where the table was. I think, like this, at the moment, I'm just simply holding this quarter, right? Yeah, like that, maybe. But critically, these guys are in my 2-pointer, right? And I think it's maybe like that. So we're all contesting his 2-pointer. So he gets 2 from here. That 1 is contested. I get 1 there. Yeah? And he gets 1 here. So on and so forth. You get the idea. So this combat is absolutely critical. So we look at this and I think, alright, these guys are on a huge number of wounds. I'm going to lightning bolt you off. I'm going to get rid of you. I bring both of my units up to lightning bolt here. Right? And they go from 14, as you can see, to, what is that, 17 wounds. Right, so 3 wounds off all this lightning bolt. And I don't kill them. I don't kill them. Meanwhile, Thonar comes into the rear of the shock troops. We front them. We double these guys. They go up to 15 wounds. Right, and we get rid of them. So, then it goes into turn 7. Can you believe it? Turn 7. Right, I will paint you a picture with words with what happens. So, the Vermintide comes into my shrine to stop it casting. Does this? I think that he maybe comes in here. He dies. He's not in the game anymore. Is he there? No, he's not. So we get rid of him. Maybe it's the I'm not sure. I think that's right. I think he maybe comes here to try and stop him casting. I'm not sure what happens. I'm so sorry, I can't remember what happened to that character, but he's definitely dead. That Brute Enforcer. My regiment also dies, right? So this is the shock troops kill, right? This the second time lucky, he definitely rolls more attacks and he manages to kill them off. Okay, which leaves me with a real problem. He wavers this guy as well. So he wavers my Stormbringer. So now if you imagine the table, I'm in a really desperate place. It's turn 7. I think it's like this. Right? So these guys are here. Yeah, these guys, I can tell you where they end up, which is over here. They actually end up halfway on the table half. And he's got this bloody great big horde for 4 points. Yeah, which I think it's like this. Right, let's like that. There you go. That's exactly what it's like. He lies. Something like that. Right. So these guys are actually in my table, my 2-pointer, I think. So these guys go off and down. So he gets 1 point each for them. These guys are in my 2-point thing. These guys, oh sorry, in his, it's 1 point for him, 2 points for him. Right. So what do? I move forward and Thonar goes back in here. I can't do anything about them. And I rely on my lightning bolt cast. I have 4 lightning bolts on 4s and 3s. I miss with all of them. I kill the Vermintide. I countercharge and we end up like this. Absolutely devastating. I'm so upset. It was not really upset. It was so exciting. We were really, you can see Nicolas' hands like, oh my god, it's so crazy. And it was crazy. Because like this, right? And these guys are half and half. Are they actually 3? Let's see. Like this. So if I get 2, and he gets 1, 2, 4. Right? So that's how we end up. Yeah, the line's supposed to be out there. There it is. There it is. So I get 2 for this guy. I do kill the shock troops, very happy. I do not kill this horde of warriors, which absolutely should be dead. I can't cast with that, so I have to countercharge the Vermintide and kill it. But it's way too late because my 1 unit strength is not enough against his 3 or 4, whatever this is. He gets 1 for each of these sides. Oh, it was really close. We were just like, he said at the end, I wouldn't have cared if I'd have lost because it was such a great game. And I was, you know, I would have felt the same if it wasn't my second loss of the tournament. Starting with 2 losses is not great. But yeah, what a great game. Really lovely player, fantastic army, really nice theme. Just so frustrating. We get to that last round, you're like that. No problem, because I've got lightning bolts and you're already on like 15 or 17 wounds. 17 wounds, no problem. I just need to do 1 damage. I just need to do 1 freaking damage. And then I didn't do any damage. Anyway, on to game 3. Game 3. So I've lost twice. I'm nearly on the bottom table at this point. A big loss is I got 11 points for both of them. I nearly wiped him out, both my opponents. But I am down here with James. James, very lovely man with some quite extraordinary trousers. Playing Nightstalkers. This was his Nightstalkers, but I kind of like. I kind of don't too. It's got a legion and 2 hordes of scarecrows, 2 hordes of butchers, 1 regiment of soul flayers, which is at least 2 below the regulation amount, a planar apparition, which is always nice to see, triple mind screech, and then a collection of characters. We've got some horror rift weavers who have spell ward aura and dread and quite a few attacks. A terror who's great in snaring and really horrible. A banshee with the zephyr crown for extra wind blast, and a resonant chorus, which I can't remember what it does, and a horror who is there literally just to provide vicious for the Nightstalkers. So we were playing Pillage, so this is you'll recognise the table. It's the same one I played the first game on. Back down to 25. So same table, same rules. Not going to go over it again. And this is how he deployed, and I thought that's odd when he deployed like this. So I deployed, standard as I had been doing because I'm like, well, it's got to work at some point. And so he's got his whoopsie daisy. He's got his Soul Flayers here, his Banshee here, and then everything else right against the back of the table. Which is like, okay, but I don't have a shooting army. Why would you anyway? Butchers, whatever the thing that Horror Rift Weavers, Terror, that's the Horror Rift Weavers. I don't know what that is. I hate playing these. Planar Apparition, Terror. These are actually Martin from Mantic's Nightstalkers instead. They're really nice. Here's the Legion, there's the Horde, and then he's got his 3 Mind Screeches. There's one over there, one here, one here. So he'd probably really far back. And I'm not going to actually go through this game in great detail. Reason being that it turns out James is a really new player. So he's only played like 15, 16 games of Kings of War ever, and most of them were in tournaments that he just turned up to have fun with. Plus, by his own admission, he was very, very tired. Like, he had nearly no sleep the night before. And he was just kind of like on autopilot. The poor guy was like really dreaming. So we'll walk through the game real quick and you'll see what I mean. So you see the tokens. So I got the side that's got 4 of them. Right, so there's 1, 2, there's 1 down here. 3. Oh, not that one, sorry, that's on his side. 1, 2, there's 1 here, 4. Okay, and he's got 3 over here. And he's away from them. So right now, I can literally just stay here and I'll win. So he wins first turn. That's his army. And he goes forward real hard with this guy, just this guy who pushes right behind, and he kind of messes around when he kind of measuring, and he measured 20 and then moved him forward after he'd measured 20, and I was like, these guys didn't come forward. Nothing else really moved apart from the Mind Screeches. And I was like, alright, okay. So you can see here, he's measured 20, but he then did move it forward, so he's well within 20. So I have put a guy over here who takes a couple of lightning bolts, but he takes 1 wound from the lightning bolts and then blathers off. We're going to start hexing over here. Everything else is pushed forward pretty hard because I just want to sit on tokens. And I take the charge on the Banshee. Because I'm playing like, as if I'm playing a quite experienced player. I'm going to be horrible. Felt bad. I do 5 wounds. I don't kill it. Okay, so moving on to turn 2, he then just legs it. They back off. Nothing else comes forward. And he just tries to lightning bolt me again. But I've already hexed him once. So he lightning bolt here. And I'm like, okay, so I lightning bolt back. There's the hex. And at this point, so my turn, I'm now pushing forward very hard. So these guys haven't come forward to threaten at all. So I've got a nice unit here, ready to deal with them. I'm now in his lines. There's nothing he can see me with. I've got these guys as kind of a temptation for him to come forward, so I can smash him. So he turns, and so he's pivoting and trying to deal with this guy in the back, and it's at this point, I think I turn 3 or something. So the game continues very, very similarly like this. So he doesn't push forward very hard, and I threaten quite nastily. But actually, I don't need to because he's really not wounding me terribly with his Mind Screeches. And I am, a very long line that's very slow. I've now got this guy in the flank of them. I can still hex. I've got a horde ready to come against things here. I've got another regiment here. So I'm like, James, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. I'm really tired, and I don't really know what I'm doing. My hope was that I could come and just, I was going to hold back and use my Mind Squeeze to just blast you off the table. But you've got so much nerve, and you keep hexing one of them. I'm not able to do it. And I was like, I get it. Okay. I'm sorry. And I was, and we kind of chilled out a bit and talked. And I was like, well, maybe you should push forward a little bit because actually I'm on the tokens and you might as well, come because this guy's down the back now. That's a nasty place to be. We're coming down this flank as well. It's going to be very unpleasant very quickly. He has got some lovely. This is a very nasty, threatening line here, but they're not coming. If I was playing this army, I did say to them, there are ways to play this army that's very nasty. You could have the Legion. Imagine this deployment. Legion, horde, and a horde, right, of scarecrows with butchers behind them. Yeah, you can have your little horror there for bane chanting. You can have a nice fast flank. Maybe these. Oh, and that's what you can have a Mind Screech, Mind Screech, Mind Screech, because this was obviously pre-nerfed. You could just lightning bolt at will as you push forwards. You can have a horror with the soul flayers and playing revolution maybe for some heal down the flank. And these guys with dread, it could be very nasty, kind of like tar pit type army. Because as soon as you engage the scarecrows, the butchers then come in. So we talked about tactics we played on, and let's, I don't want to kind of go through. Oh, look how much I crashed him, because that's not fair at all. Because he was, exhausted and not playing his best, not really kind of doing that. So. We played through, so in the end, he came into the horde with one of the Mind Screeches, and then they obviously started to die. And he did start to engage then on this flank, which is great, which is what we really need to do. But it's the last place you want that unit. I'm still hexing. There's a lot of wounds going in. So by turn 5, it's turn 5, and we just started the combat really. So it didn't feel very fair. I was really now starting to come down his flank. And I'm just, I don't bother to engage. Actually, I just sit there because I don't need to. I've got a token here. I've got a token here. I've got one here. I'm contesting this one, so I'm pretty much gonna win. And he comes down here. So he does manage to finally, gleefully kill the Hexcaster. He's like, "You're going to die," and he got him. And I was like, "Yes, I wanted you to kill him." Butcher's coming to Thonar. and yeah, he sends a planar apparition, which is a great kind of stopping tool for units like this who can't churn through on 5s. Right, back into this token here, so I just make sure I've got enough tokens to win. I eventually decide to say, I had him floating around the back, making very nervous for a while, and then coming to the rear of things. And we end up in a very nice position. So we come off the hill into the planar apparition and turn round, just for murdering fun. Scarecrows do eventually come in, but they don't kill me. Horror does get some decent damage off. Terror, I mean, sorry. So he hasn't managed to engage at this point, but his army is now kind of spread quite thinly across the battlefield. So it didn't really work as a strategy. So, you know, that coming in the back of the battlefield is great if you are facing a ranged force and if your shooting is a little bit more powerful. But in this particular case, Scarecrows, look at that, 9 wounds on my hordes, pretty great. But 1 versus 3 does not work. Yep, and those butchers died, which means I'm on a nice token there. So, in fact, I seem to remember that's not in. So he does get this token, which is a good move, and he gets this token, which is 2. But unfortunately, I get 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I think that is it. Yes. But I would say, what a lovely chap, and I really enjoyed chatting with him. And we very much relaxed, you know, when we got to this point. I was like, okay, let's chat. And he was very cool about it, I would say. And he said he did a lot better the next day after he got some sleep, which is fair enough. So I went day 1 with 2 losses and a win, which is very depressing. But they were great games. You know, I was in obviously a terrible position in the ranking. But I would say London GT had one of the toughest rooms I have ever played in, and I'm not even joking about that. With only 64 players, because a lot of English people didn't want to go to where it was in London, so about half foreign visitors. And the standard, everyone said the standard was so high, right away across the board. Very, very tough games all the way. A lot of very nasty lists, a lot of very capable players, and you will see my next game in the next battle report, which is game 4, against one of the Spanish players. Again, you know, I've won one game out of 3, and I play against another brutal list and a very good player, and I finish against a very good player as well. So I would say my last 2 games are real nail biters, and I'll try and recount them somewhat more reliably than I did these ones. Yeah, really great games, fantastic tournaments, some absolute corker of games. I hope this wasn't too painful to listen to. I've certainly enjoyed managing to finally get to them. I'm going to get this one up as soon as possible so that you guys can enjoy it. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.